guys, and welcome back to Mika Reacting Reviews. We're reacting to things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, different video. Today we're going to be reacting to musicians warning fans about the music industry. I believe this video is from Loudwire. Alright, I love doing these deep dives about the music industry because it just goes perfectly along with the channel. We react to music, so it's nice to know what happens behind the scenes, right? Anyway, we're going to get right into it. But before you do, if you like these type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below, and all the links to the alternative platforms, my socials, and all the ways to support me is always going to be in the links down below. Also, if you're an independent artist, you want me to react to your song or play it in my intro, hit me up on my email, and let's do business. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, the music business plays this Jedi mind trick on you where the whole thing's set up to be rapacious and take advantage of your weakness. If you get success and you have leverage, they'll get out of your way because you're making them a lot of money. But the minute you're not making them as much money, then they step in and they start playing these Jedi mind tricks on you. We know what to do. You know, the public's going to forget about you. I mean, I've heard all these things like, you know, this kind of weird, like, yeah, you're in the room, but you know, we're the arbiter of whether you can stay in the room. They do these 360 deals where it's like, right, if you get a perfume deal, if you, like your whole world,
they own you.
We own a piece of your whole world. And fame is such a great quotient in American life now that you can see where kids would trade fame and give and be willing to give away like the profit part. Look no further than the deals that the record labels cut with the streaming services. They got into ownership equity deals with the streaming services in an arrangement for them to have an equity position. They agreed to very low rates for the artist's music. But as Spotify and the other streaming services raise up in their equity position, the labels benefit. So the labels pimped out their own artist to take a greater equity position in a rising business.
Stopping it there, yep, he is spitting facts and spilling the tea. It is true, like, especially we've talked about on this channel before how the music label basically owns you. They own your image because they created your image. They tell you, hey, we know what's best for you. This is what's going to get you to pop. You have to change the way you look, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you sing, your genre, everything, your mindset, your narrative, your perspective, everything. We will create it for you. We will mold it for you, and then you will be famous. And again, a lot of people want to be famous so bad. You ask kids now, you know, the teeny boppers, the teenagers, just Gen Z, what do they want to be? What is their greatest aspirations in life? And when I was younger, it was like doctor, lawyer, astronaut, engineer, researcher, whatever. Now it's TikTok star, YouTube famous, or just famous in general. And a lot of people, especially at that age when their brain is not even finished developing, sometimes they come from nothing. They will just do whatever it takes to get that fame because that's all they ever wanted. That is their lifelong dream. It's not about the art. It's not about creating. It's about fame and it's about money. And sometimes it's just about fame. Like he said, they will give up the money to be famous until they get older and they realize they can't feed themselves anymore, right? And again, it's like, yeah, if you are a Beyonce, if you are a Jay-Z, if you're a P. Diddy, you have a lot more control because you're making money, right? But when you're a smaller artist, then it's like you have less control because money comes power. Anyway, let's continue.
One thing that did happen during the 60s was some music of an unusual or experimental nature did get recorded and did get released. Now look at who the executives were in those companies at those times. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product that came and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out. If it sells, all right. We were better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives. And he's saying, well, we can't take a chance on this because it's just simply, that's not what the kids really want, and I know. You know, and they got that attitude. And the day you get rid of that attitude and get back to, who knows? Take a chance, you know, that entrepreneurial spirit where even if you don't like or understand what the record is that's coming in the door, the person who is in the executive chair may not be the final arbiter of taste of the entire population.
That's true. And I think it's also the question between like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does the industry create what's popular, create the trend, or do the society create the trend and the music industry just sort of bites on it and absorbs any income they can from it? But I also think that's what he's saying is evident because we see a lot of copy and paste sounds. A lot of people look the same. A lot of people are just replicating clones of each other. These bright hair mumble rappers, right? The overtly vulgar, sexualized female artists, right? We see the same thing over and over again, and maybe influencing what is popular and what the audience and the public wants, instead of being experimental, instead of taking a chance. Even for me as a YouTuber, you know what I mean? If I really wanted to make money, all I would have to do is so simple. The formula is so simple, is that you hyper focus on one niche. If I wanted to, all I had to do is react to a bunch of Dr. Jordan Peterson videos or Ben Shapiro, or just completely grift all the way to the right and hyper focus on how much I hate libtards and stuff like that, or completely grift all the way to the left and become super black woke. Like, all I have to do is like hyper focus on one niche, and that is one of the easiest ways to make money and gain an audience. And because I am a creative in different ways, I choose not to do that. And I choose to experiment. I choose to put out videos and say, here guys, do you like this? Do you want to listen to this? Like, this video in itself, like, do you want to hear this type of commentary, right? But a lot of times, if you want to make money, you just stick to what is trendy and you just drill into it as hard as you can. And that's why everyone just seems copies of each other. You see YouTubers doing the same trend, you know, eating Tide Pods and 1,000 layers of makeup or whatever is popular, because they just want to make money and not really to create. Anyway, let's continue.
I don't know if most people have seen long-form contracts. They're insane, and there's all these little things thrown in. It's kind of like legislature for a government. They put up this big issue, but underneath that issue, there's like 17 other little laws that they threw in that they're not talking about. So when you say yes to this one thing, you're actually saying yes to like 45 other things.
There's a worse one. They used to have damage fees with digital downloads. Digital downloads, like at first they were doing that, like they just trying to get away with murder, you know, just like, let's leave it in there, let's see if the lawyer sees it, kind of thing.
Yeah, Metallica is a big exception. But a lot of metal bands you've heard of that you consider very successful metal bands are in situations where they need to diversify. I think the idea, that we all had as kids, we're going to make it, and our one band that we're in is going to make us all this money and be our sole source of income. I think that's gone for the most part, unless you're very, very lucky. That's not the case anymore.
Oh my God, I really love that he used to this legislation, laws, and bills and stuff like that as an analysis when it comes to these music contracts, and how there's a lot of hidden things in there. A lot of times the government would use sort of like causes, or like the C-19 bill, like, oh, it's just a civil rights law. We're just helping people not, say the right pronouns. We're just here for the LGBTQ plus community. But under that in that bill is shoved in a bunch of other shit that you don't understand, and basically, taking off promises you gave to your big donors, right? The same thing when they say, like, this is for black people, this is for women, this is for this. A lot of times they put it under these well-to-do causes, but they're actually pushing in a lot of other laws and legislation that we're not going to even realize is there till years later, right? And so that's why people should pay attention and not just emotionally react to shit, and understand what's really going on and read between the lines. Just like when you have a contract, but unfortunately a lot of times these kids are young and they're desperate and they're hungry and they don't read those contracts or don't wait to get a lawyer or something like that. And sometimes a lawyer is, especially if you get a lawyer that's already in the business, is already corrupt themselves. So a lot of people don't have the finances to go get their own lawyer that has their best interests at heart and not just there for a check. Anyway, let's continue.
For younger bands that don't have the draw that we do, it's incredibly difficult. It really is. Sure. For bands that don't understand or that don't fully take advantage of how the machine actually works, it's incredibly difficult. Every band needs to really pay attention to what their record contract says. They look at what their royalty rate is. If you realize you're getting 0.07 cents for every stream, and your contract only says that you get 15 points on the record after you've recouped everything.
There's a lot of zeros after that decimal.
Exactly. So it just keeps on being reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced, and you have to really pay attention to it. You have to negotiate. You have to hardball. You have to, and you have to try and improvise and adapt and overcome. I've said that a million times.
I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise. And they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, you know, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. It shouldn't be a situation where they own the album or the work. We're talking about intellectual copyright. If they're going to be indeed a delivery service, then that's fine. But even FedEx doesn't say that they own the thing that they ship.
I mean, Prince is right that some studios are essentially just a distribution company, but that's not what the contract says. So whatever you think about it, that's not what the contract says. So you shouldn't sign a contract unless the contract says that they're only taking money for simply delivering the album or dispersing it to platforms. If that's the only thing that says, fine. But if it doesn't say that, it doesn't matter what you think about the intellectual property or it's my creation or whatever. That's not what the contract says. So that's not what it says. There is times where artists will sign to a contract, right, and their studio is doing nothing. They're not getting them deals. They're not letting them record music. They're not getting them any concerts or anything. They're doing nothing. They just signed them, and for whatever reason, they just shelve them. That artist then goes, okay, I'm frustrated, and they go out and make their own music. They book their own sessions. They book their own concerts, their own appearances, all that stuff. Guess what? The music industry that's not doing shit for that artist still get a percentage of everything they do. Does not matter whether they're helping you or not, they still get a percentage of everything that you do, sometimes for years and years on end. You are trapped and enslaved to that contract. And I like the other artist, I know who he is, the white bald guy, who said, like, you either need to understand the industry or take advantage of the industry, because I'm pretty sure there are people who've been in it for a long time who want to be a part of the machine will learn how to actually use the machine to their advantage and take advantage of it. I personally still think you should stay out of the machine, but some people are smart enough to know how to take advantage of the machine. Anyway, let's continue.
When I first started, I came into it with such a sense of idealism that music was ultimately, which it is, an expression of your soul. 2 months into my first professional thing, I realized that it's a really ugly industry, like any industry would be. I'm sure logging or any industry is ugly when you start getting into the money of it. But music, in a way, more so, because it's monetizing something that is your passion.
I'm an independently owned artist. I kept my publishing. All the things that I could have done smart, believe it or not, I learned from street level in what I call the, bar none, the music business. I have some great friends, but bar none is the sleaziest business in the world. It's a business where there's 50 ways to get rich and rock the world, and there's 50 ways to get screwed from just one incident.
The music industry is a joke. Every band that they signed, they tried to make sound like the last band to perpetuate this myth of that's what music should be. That bit them in the ass, because now we're down to watching literally America's best fucking singer or dancing with singers or whatever the fuck reality shit they got going as our source of popular music. But we still don't get fucking paid for anything we do, and we travel around town to town hoping for scraps of food and shit.
Alright guys, that was Loudwire, musicians warning the fans about the music industry. I agree, I think the music industry is one of the most disgusting industries, right along the Hollywood, of course, but also like the modeling industry is absolutely disgusting. I know models who were being nude around a lot of grown-ass men where they were not adults, and the modeling agency knows all about this stuff. It's not because it's hidden or in the dark. This is very much about a part of the modeling industry. I don't care how many times they put black and fat people in front of you and say, oh my god, see, we're just so woke and progressive and inclusive. It is a sick fucking industry that is preys on children a lot, and of course, like, there's the sports industry, the Olympics industry, like all these platforms, all these industries are highly corrupt but I would say the top 3 is the modeling and music in Hollywood. Those are our top 3 most disgusting industries to be a part of. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and my Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle, or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.